Episode 30 of the Under-Seasoned Podcast.
Episode Dirty 30, mate, and you've got a bit of a surprise for us.
I do. We've got a special intro to this episode, and I'm so excited to play this. Let's have a watch.
What's up, guys? My name is Al Frugoni, and you're watching the Under-Seasoned BBQ Show. And remember, open fire grilling is not a way of cooking, it's a way of life. Vamos!
Thanks, Al. That's awesome.
That's unreal. Al Frugoni, the master from Argentina, now residing in Texas.
Yeah, and it was great for him to go out of his way to do that for us. Next up, before we get started on this episode, we've got to get this out of the way. Did you survive the AI action figure barbecue trend?
To a degree, I did. I didn't come up with one of these things that ended up all over Facebook because as an artist, I'm not meant to partake in anything to do with artificial intelligence, but some of these were spot on.
Yeah. Look, there wasn't many people that are involved in barbecue that didn't do one and post it online, and we've got a few of them up here. We tried to collect as many as we can, but it was just like my feed was full of them at one stage.
That's it. And a lot of these guys probably wish that they could get these turned into actual action figures, and that's why I say that with a grain of salt. I didn't put anything in the AI machine, but I did do this. So about a week before the trend happened, I went on the Funko Pop website. You know, you go into the bookshops and there's all those little bobbleheads and that. This is their official website where you can make custom Funkos. I did one of myself and you. I went to get these made. Like, you can get these custom made. We just need a forwarding address in the US of someone that wants to take delivery, and we'll get these made.
Rightio. So if you're in the US and you'd like to get these forwarded to you so that you can forward them to us and do us a favour, then let us know in the comments because we'd love to have these in the studio.
That's it. And that's relevant to the size of my head after that viral steak video.
Okay, we're going to get to that a bit later. But for now, we've got to get into the episode.
Okay, inside this episode, we've got a pig named Pesto that hasn't paid any child support. We've got a bit of smash burger controversy. We've got Australia's fastest Weber. We've also got one of the biggest names in barbecue. We've stolen his grandma's recipe. And we've also got a bit of a video game-inspired burger.
Cool. All right, well, let's start it off with our traditional fuck-up of the week. This is where we find something funny. We start off the episode with a bit of light-hearted banter. And what is going on here?
Oh, jeebus. This is a bit of a fat fire by first glance, I would imagine. Yeah, there's no saving that brisket, mate.
So it's posted by Zachary Barber, and he says, I tried to smoke a brisket at 180F overnight for my birthday weekend, and I woke up to this.
He's lucky he didn't wake up to more damage, to be honest. Like, that's a timber deck.
He says, looks like the pellets in the auger caught fire and burned all the way into the hopper. Probably my fault, I'm sure. Lucky I didn't burn the house down. So, yeah, you spotted it. That timber deck, that's pretty scary. I don't know, though. There looks to be a lot more damage than just the pellets catching fire to me around that barbecue. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say maybe this might have been a combination of both. It could have been a fat fire and also a pellet fire.
Well, that's it. If he's cooking it down at 180, that's pretty low, so it's not going to be screaming hot. But, yeah, I think it's just a combination of everything. Bit of untended to maintenance there. Probably wouldn't have gone astray.
So Tracy Barnes in the comments, she agreed with us. She thought it was a grease fire as well.
Yep. No, either way, there's you're going to be getting pizzas for your birthday, mate.
So Alan says, bark looks set, wrap it, cook till probe tender.
It's going to be cooking a while.
Jason says, this is what happens if you don't stay with it and drink 22 beers.
That's a fair point.
All right, moving on. What do we got here?
That? It looks like it's something covered in flies, is it?
So this one was posted by Car for Eye Food Trip, and it was titled Amazing 1000 Bee Thai Dessert.
Wow, so
they're
it's
not actually
bees.
Yeah, they're not flies, they're bees.
Wow.
So the dessert is called Phoi Tong, and it's a traditional Thai dessert made from egg yolks and sugar, and I think that's what the bees are after, the sugar.
Yeah, I reckon. There must be heaps of sugar in it because, damn, that's a lot of bees.
A bit curious, right? Because if it was flies on food, you wouldn't buy it. But apparently bees are cleaner than flies. They don't rot the food. They're just after the sugar. And the story goes, apparently this little shop tried to get rid of them, but they just kept coming back all the time, and now it's a bit of a tourist attraction.
Yeah, I reckon. As long as you're not allergic, I suppose.
On that, in the comments, Bryant said, it tasted very good.
But at what cost?
Okay, let's move on to our dishes of the week here. And we've got a Minecraft-inspired burger.
Jesus. I know nothing about Minecraft except for the fact that it's all cube-looking pixel stuff.
Yeah, well, I was hoping you did because I don't either. But it was posted by Smoky Pastures Barbecue, and it's a giant cheese-stuffed buffalo chicken nugget on waffles.
Gee, that looks good.
It looks great. I haven't seen the movie, first and foremost. But apparently lava chicken is the way it's got to be said. Who sings the song, you know?
I'm pretty sure it's a Jack Black movie.
Okay. Or Jack Black was doing a song in the Minecraft movie.
Yeah, so he's the main actor in the movie. And I've seen a short of where he does a lava chicken song, but everything I've ever learnt about Minecraft has been against my will, so...
Well, it was inspired by Steve's lava chicken from Minecraft, the movie, and it's a toasted waffle top with chipotle pickles, buffalo sauce, coated lava chicken, and a cheese patty with a waffle booty.
Jeebus, I think I better get into Minecraft.
Now, when I read all that, I'm like, where's the cheese?
True.
Where is the cheese? Well, this explains it.
Oh, there it is.
That's a perfect cheese ooze, isn't it?
It's almost like one of those little yellow food cordon bleus that you used to get at the servo back in the day, but a good version.
They were more oil than anything, weren't they?
Yeah, I reckon.
Okay, next. It's another burger, and this one is wild. It's by Ernest Cervantes, the Pope of Barbecue, and he says, La Babe, it's back for a bit.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So it's a smoked pulled pork, chamoy barbecue sauce, chicharrones, pineapple habanero coleslaw, all in a choncha.
Wow.
Now, a choncha is a traditional Mexican sweetbread, and if I'm massacring that name, I'm sorry. There's a lot of big words for me to read here, and it's not my forte.
That's it.
But this looks like, give me this.
That looks like my shirt wants to taste it.
It looks stunning.
So good.
This is the reason I think why his barbecue restaurant is just becoming so well known all around the world.
That's it. Just bringing that Mexican home cooked influence and
creativity. Okay, so onto our videos of the week, and these are things that have caught our eye on the socials. We usually forward them to each other through the week, and this one is a bit of food porn here. It was posted by NZ Barbecue Chick. Now, she is someone that we're going to have a much bigger, substantial segment on the show at some point. I actually think she's probably, I would call her the most creative person in barbecue today, period. However, to find out why, you're going to have to stay tuned in future episodes. But here, she's posted to her stories, she's cooking a pizza in a Tandoor oven.
Yeah, she scored herself a new Tandoor oven a couple of weeks ago and has been giving it an absolute flogging. And yeah, Shani is just an absolute boss. She could have her own episode, bro, and I really want to wrangle her over here to get one going. But yeah, if you want to see some inspirational food porn, and she especially loves doing stuff with barbecue leftovers, follow NZ Barbecue Chick on all the socials and you will not be disappointed.
Well, this is her cooking a pizza in a Tandoor oven. I think that the Tandoor oven's done a smashing job of cooking this pizza. You can buy it from kiwiindoor.co.nz. It's $1,300, but it comes with the free pizza kit that you saw Shani using for a limited time.
So good. They run red hot too, so yeah, you get lots of hot and fast cooking going on there.
Okay, next up. This is something we're going to watch together, and I'm blown away by this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
How do you like your steaks cooked? It's not even a question for me. Medium rare. Medium rare. A bit more on the medium size. I like the pink and juicy.
I'm not trying to be the odd man out here. Medium. I like my...
I'm going to cut it there, right? This is by the High Podcast 1. And these kids need to start paying taxes, bro, because they're too mature.
They need to start paying for something because it looks like they're sharing the same little pocket mic.
I think they've all got their own mics though, don't they?
I don't know. It kind of looks like they have to cut over and keep sharing it around. But yeah, I don't think I'd ever eaten a steak at that age growing up in the ghetto of Tassie.
At this age, I was eating glue, let alone sitting around chatting with my mates about what bloody steak doneness I prefer. This is wild.
This is cool. I love it.
So a little bit more about these kids. They're currently at 5,000 followers, but on their Instagram, they say that at 10,000 followers, they're going to release merch. So you guys have to go find them, High_podcast1, and give them a follow. We need to get them to 10,000 followers so they can release some merch, man. We need to wear their merch on the show.
That's it. Tell them the Under-Seasoned BBQ show says hi. Yeah, I'm keen to cop some merch.
Cool. Okay, on to some news now. And season 6 of BBQ Brawl premieres on the 1st of June on the Food Network, and they're back at the Star Hill Ranch in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, old beat Bobby Flay there in the middle there. And Manette and Antonia.
So the interesting thing about this is obviously Bobby Flay has got a lot of barbecue experience, but his co-hosts here are very, very accomplished chefs, but I don't think any of them have got any sort of barbecue background. So an interesting choice there, but I tell you what, they look the part.
They definitely do.
So very cool. I do like that show and can't wait to see it on the Food Network.
Hell yeah. We'll probably be up to about season 2 by now by the time it gets over here to Australia. So
Okay, next up in the news, a container of frozen chickens washed up in Jamaica.
Jamaican me crazy. Do you reckon it counts as seafood now?
So apparently the government told everybody to throw them away because they didn't meet Jamaica's food standards and they'd fallen from a vessel en route to the Cayman Island. They also said the chickens could be potentially contaminated.
Yeah, they're just saying that so that you don't go and get yourself a free chook, mate, and you go back to the store and start buying stuff that's probably loaded with tax.
So what we're looking at here is a container that's washed up on the beach, and once they've popped the door open, they've found out that the whole thing is stacked to the top with frozen chickens, whole chickens. And every man and their dog has come down to grab themselves a couple of chooks.
That guy just punched a chicken, bro.
What do you mean he punched a
He
chicken?
holds it up to the camera and then punched it.
It would have hurt his hand because it's frozen.
Is it frozen though? That's not frozen, bro. Watch. Bang.
Okay, some people clearly didn't listen to the government, and I don't think there's much that a bit of heat and some jerk seasoning can't kill, and people did cook them up.
Den they bum up ya see ya cook lol. Bumba clot.
I do love jerk chicken.
Bro.
Do you love jerk as a flavour? I love it.
Yeah, I remember the real jerk guys used to come to Melbourne Meat Stock and they used to do a thing where it was a twice cooked jerk chicken. So they'd cook it on the grill with the jerk spices and they let it go cold. Then they'd crumb it and fry it to order. And it was, bro, up there with some of my best feeds I've ever had at a Meat Stock.
All right. Well, jerk chicken is something we need to cook in the studio at some point because I love that flavour.
Yeah, that's it. Atomic Chicken do a good jerk rub.
Okay. A rub?
Yeah.
Okay. Not a wet paste.
No, well, I think you just add oil to it or whatever and it makes the wet paste for you. So
Perfect. All right. Let's note that one for the future. Now, on to talking points. You've made a bit of a stir, bro.
I'm famous for the wrong reasons, bro.
So you've hit the big time. Your dishwasher steak has hit Vice and the New York Post.
It has. Absolutely no credit given to me personally, but I didn't invent this. I saw this and copied it and basically just put it under the eyes of our viewers.
I think you did a good job of cooking it, which is really, I guess, why it's gone viral.
That's it. Proof was in the pudding. It was all, as I said at the start, I didn't want it to work. I was just like, nah, this is bullshit. Let's fucking expose this. And it was a good feed, bro.
Okay. This brings me on to a segue. Who is going to be the first person to cook a brisket in a dishwasher?
Are we talking a brisket from raw or reheat some already cryovac cooked brisket?
Well, there's two ways of doing this, and I don't have the time or the patience, but maybe you do. Would you cook it first and then heat it up in the dishwasher, or would you sous vide it in the dishwasher and then set it in the barbecue?
Reheating it is not the avenue that we need to go down because, I mean, that's how a lot of takeaway barbecues serve now in the cryovac bags, and they recommend you just heat it in the boiling water. So I think if someone wants to really get this going, they've got to do a brisket from raw and include most of the cooking in the dishwasher. I mean, you obviously can't smoke it in the dishwasher. So what do you do first, though? Do you smoke it first and then when the bark's set, then do you put it in the dishwasher? Or do you cook it to almost done and then finish it in the smoker?
For me personally, I would sous vide it in the dishwasher first, and then I'd take it out, give it a good rub, and then finish it off in the smoker. And that way you could probe it without piercing the cryovac, so you could check if it was done or not. I think if you did it the other way, it'd be hard to determine whether it was done or not. You'd probably need to put it through for 4, 5, maybe even 6 cycles before then you brought it into the dishwasher. But I just think if you did it the other way around, your rub would go all mushy.
Yeah, true. So that's probably the way I'd do it. So there's probably only one way to settle this, and that's...
Are you going to do it, or someone out there needs to do it?
Someone out there needs to do it because I don't want to ruin a perfectly good brisket.
So if you want to be on Vice and the New York Post, then this is your opportunity to follow in Sigh's footsteps and cook yourself a beef brisket in the dishwasher.
That's it. It'll get you absolutely nowhere, but it could be fun.
Okay, let's move on. I'm going to turn the sound up on this. This is the Go-To Food Podcast. It's a food podcast out of the UK, and they interview celebrity chefs, some really talented, even famous chefs. And then this one caught my eye. So let's listen and have a watch.
Smash burgers. I don't get it.
No.
Like, why overcook all that beef? Like, what's wrong with like a big, fat, juicy burger? Like old school, patty and bun. Boom. Love it.
Even go further, they're like sort of steakhouse menus. Yeah, the steakhouse.
Okay, so we sort of get the point here. He's basically saying that smash burgers are just a bunch of overcooked meat. He would prefer to have a nice, big, fat, juicy patty burger. What's your take on this?
I think there's a place for all of it. I mean, there's times when I do want a nice big juicy patty, but the thing that I love about a smash burger is when they're done right, they're really hard to replicate. Like, I've got all the tools and the equipment to make smash burgers at home, and I cannot get even close to eating something like what Leon Smash Burgers or whatever put up. I just think there's a place for all of it.
Okay, so these are smash burgers by Leon Smash Burgers here in Australia, and I'm a massive fan. The meat for me has this Maillard reaction that creates this intense umami flavour.
Yep.
And I just don't think you get that out of that fat patty kind of half raw in the middle.
And that's it. If you've ever seen any of these smash burger vendors actually working, they are moving at a rate of knots, just non-stop cooking, assembling burgers and handing them over. While if you're doing the big fat patties, they take a little bit longer. Yeah, I mean, I still think there's a place for every kind of burger.
Yeah, same here. But I do feel like the flavour in a smash burger is a little bit more richer and a little bit more savoury. To me, anyway.
That's it. And it's a lot more simple too. But I remember a mate of mine, he had a burger restaurant here in Port Macquarie years ago. They used to do the big fat patties, and then the New South Wales health regulations brought out that mince had to be served at medium well. So you couldn't serve a burger at medium rare anymore, which meant they had to change the thickness of their patties, and they also had to basically just cook them for longer so that so the burgers were compliant, and it just added to the cooking time and essentially the wait time.
Yeah, and then also maybe the taste as well.
Definitely.
So this photo here is a Leon Smash Burger next to a Steve's Burger, which is a pop-up burger shop in Washington, D.C., and it's the Washington Post's #1 rated burger.
Wow, that's amazing. That's such a feather in the hat, isn't it?
So both are smashies, but very different processes there.
That's it.
So for me, a good smashy comes down to the quality of the meat itself. So most people, if they're making smashies, use a sort of like a brisket and a chuck mix. Personally, for me, I just use brisket, and I go to the butcher and I get them to mince it on a number 10 meat grinder twice over. That's what I do for my smashies.
Yeah, good times. And then you get that nice little meat lattice going on.
So this is the part in the comments where we want to know, do you prefer a smash burger or...
Fatty. Smash patty or a fatty?
I like both, to be honest, but if I had to pick one, it'd be a smash burger.
Yeah.
I just think they taste better.
100%. I'm just all about it because, I mean, I can make a nice big fat patty and chuck it in the smoker or the oven or the grill at home, but I still haven't mastered the smashies, man. I've got the flat griddle and I've used my own brisket mince and all that sort of thing, but it's close, but man, they are a work of art.
The secret is a really good flat top that gets hot.
Yep.
On this as well, I mean, if you get yourself a good Philly cheesesteak, what the chef in the original video is referring to is overcooking the meat. Essentially, that's what he's complaining about, right? But a good Philly cheesesteak is overcooked meat as well.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on. We have mail. I
Lots
love
of mail.
and we have so much mail. Like, it's all backed up, but this one's important.
Oh, it's our boy.
So, do you know who Casey McLean is?
I do now.
So, he's a stand-up comedian and he's from the Under-Seasoned Podcast.
Hi, Casey. Oh, no, you're Jay. What?
So, he's no slouch as a comedian. He actually has a video about a joke about his grandpa that got 2.2 million views. He's pretty funny. He also has a video on YouTube, which has got his full special, and that's got 54,000 views, and he sent us a DM.
He has.
Oh, he's reached out.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a barbecue guy.
Sick. That's a pretty good looking brisket too, man.
So he says, if you scroll past my mediocre stand-up, I'm also a barbecue guy, and this is a photo of one of his briskets, and I think he's done a smashing job.
That's awesome.
He might be a better pitmaster than a comedian.
He could be.
Okay, and on that, he's a really nice guy, and he's agreed to change the name of his channel to the Unseasoned Podcast. I still feel like we have some unresolved beef between us, but that was nice of him to do that.
I like the way you use the word beef, mate.
Okay, so stay tuned. Hopefully we have a bit more banter with these guys because they look like a bit of fun.
Bloody oath. 17 views on one of their videos.
Yeah, but so...
Look how inconsistent it is, though.
How do you go from 1,000 views to 17 views?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It's definitely just your audience being fickle.
So at one point there, I was going to be like, well, you know, the bigger channel wins. If there's a name argument, the bigger channel wins, right? But they're not far behind us. And to be honest, they've only done like 8 episodes. We've done like nearly 30 as of now, right? They're going to catch us.
Yeah, I reckon we need to sort this out on another platform.
Okay. Well, we do have more on Instagram, but that's another story for another day. Let's move on. We got tagged in a photo from the Rubber Boot Farm. It's a small farm in Ontario in Canada, and he says, I own and operate Rubber Boot Farm. His name's Marcel Fazet, and this photo really did make me double take. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
What is this?
Jesus, that looks like probably a 10-year-old boy riding a giant big hog, and not the Harley-Davidson kind either.
So he says, meet Pesto. He's a 5-year-old and he has the best job on the farm. He's responsible for siring nearly 200 piglets at our farm, and he's never paid child support.
I was going to say Pesto's the pig, yeah.
Yes, Pesto is the pig, definitely not the kid. He clocks in at 300 kgs.
Yeah, right.
He's in Canada. They use the metric.
They do. Bloody oath. That is a big pig, bro.
So Marcel says, in many ways, he's a modern man. And I didn't know really what that meant until he sent us this video, and we're going to play it and watch.
Look at this. We're rubbing his belly, and he makes room for the stick. And then when you rub his nuts, he does the same thing. Don't get in there.
He's rubbing the assets there.
The golden jewels.
I feel good.
They have been responsible for a lot of good taste in pork.
And he's loving it.
Bloody oath, mate. All he has to do is eat and root.
So he says, here are some of Pesto's offsprings. He says, I have the pigs processed, then turned into charcuterie and salamis in the family kitchen shop.
Wow.
Pretty cool. And this is the end result of Pesto's hard work.
So delicious.
Thanks for the DM, Marcel, and thanks for the laughs. And that looks like some really, really good charcuterie there.
It does. Thanks, Pesto.
Okay, Art by Sigh. This is where we get the opportunity here for you to showcase some of your art, which is always banging, and you'll need to tell me a little bit about this one here.
Yeah, so this one was released in the weekend just gone at the Sydney Meat Stock. We got this one done just in time for the legends Smoky Sue's, which always put on a good spread when they come to Meat Stock. They do a heap of barbecue catering and that sort of thing. And yeah, they reached out and they didn't really give me too much time to get some artwork to the printer, but they basically said, hey, mate, you've got free reign. Here's some reference photos. Tell us what you reckon. And depicted them in a bit of a hip-hop style there. We've got the beef rib burger there and the burrito taco and the brisket and the snag in the... they serve a lot of it out of their Airstream caravan there, one of those old school caravan food trucks. They've got the big double barrel smoker up the back there. I think that was Dalsey or House of Barbecue's smoker there at one stage. Yeah, this was some fresh merch released on the weekend, and follow Smoky Sue's, get yourself some swag.
Now on that, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think they were the first one to go viral with the full beef rib in the burger where you pull the bone out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I think the burger's called Ribby McRibface.
All right, another awesome one, and that leads us on to some meat-related fashion here. What's going on here?
So, yeah, we've been working on this for a while now. This is our buddy over in Switzerland, Pesha, who we send a lot of love to on the show. But now, anyone in Australia that wants to wear his goods, our good mates down the road, Black Dog Inc., who also print all of our T-shirts, they've set up all of the carnivore designs here that you can see on screen now available through them in Australia. So buy yourself a T-shirt. Pesha gets all the money. I think he's putting it all into an account to hopefully come over to Meat Stock next year and hang out and maybe even sling some tattoos. But yeah, follow the link below. This is all from the same web store, so you can grab this guy's stuff, a bunch of mine. You can grab Under-Seasoned merch while you're there, chuck it all in one postage bag and get it all delivered straight to your door.
Yeah, so if you're in Australia, you can buy it on Black Dog's website, but if you're overseas, you can always go to Pesha's website. Carnivore Design, is it?
I believe it is so. We'll put the link down below anyway. But yeah, get out there and support your local artists. Yeah, wear some pretty cool shit while you're at it.
On to merch. You also sent me this one. What's going on here?
This is our buddy Dave up in Queensland. And yeah, he's printed us up a whole bunch of the Celsius versus Fahrenheit stickers. Yeah, we might have a few of these to give away soon. So if you want to chuck them on your Yeti, chuck them on your fridge or...
Under-Seasoned stickers.
Bloody oath.
Okay, tattoos.
Meat-inspired tattoos.
Yeah, and you should remember this one because it really stood out for us. It's a full back piece, and what are we looking at?
It's a large human too. So, yeah, we've got a massive, big European traditional style back piece here. A butcher practicing his trade, surrounded by the 4 proteins of pork, beef, lamb and chicken. And this is just so well executed. It's the layout's beautiful, the colour saturation and the contrast of it is so good.
Yeah, well, when we featured this big back piece tattoo on the show before, we couldn't credit anybody because we didn't know where the photo came from. But since then, we've found out. It's been done by Kappa Tattoo, and he's from Pisa in Italy.
Yeah, cool as.
So he says, I finished a controversial back piece for the sweetest butcher ever.
Unreal. You'd be stoked if you were wearing that for the rest of your life.
So this is him. His name's Polar. So he's also a trained geologist, and he's been tattooing for 10 years.
Yeah, cool. He's probably just picked it up as a bit of a side passion.
This is some of his other work. He says he focuses on American and Japanese styles and sometimes merges the two together in his work. And what we are looking at here is some pretty crazy looking back pieces.
Yeah, that one on the left is what they call the Battle Royale, which is the snake versus tiger versus eagle. Quite, commonly used subject matter, but that is absolutely nailed the way he's laid that one out. It's just so good, free-flowing with the contours of the body and that sort of thing. Full back too, taking up the butt cheeks. And yeah, man, it's good times. I'm happy with those.
And these are some more.
Sick.
How much time goes into these?
My back piece was 60 hours.
60?
Yep.
The numbing cream's going to wear off, bro.
I didn't use any numbing cream. It's not in one session, though. Like, it was 18 months over 10 sessions. So the one thing I hate more about getting tattooed is healing from a tattoo. I just find that it can just be so brutal and annoying. Yeah, there's a reason you don't just sit there and get tattooed for 12 hours a day.
And you need someone else to put the cream on your back too.
Bloody oath, or on your butt crack in this instance.
Okay, moving on to some pit builders. Now, this one I'm going to play for you, and it was posted by BBQ Company. So it was titled Japan Bound, and this one is heading to its new home at Smokemanship in Karuizawa. I can't wait to come and visit. That's what he's titled the video. And what are we looking at?
We've got a beautifully built offset smoker here. It's painted like a nice, beautiful copper gold almost. Yeah, what would that be, about a 500 gallon?
Yeah, it looks about a 500-gallon smoker. So going to Japan, that's what interests me. So I went digging because Japan is not known for its barbecue, right? So Smokemanship is located in the Nagano Prefecture in Japan, and they do Texas barbecue.
Man, he's not going to know himself when that new pit shows up. It's such an upgrade from the Oklahoma Joe.
Yeah, so it looks like they've been cooking on some pretty small smokers thus far, and a big 500-gallon pit is going to be a big upgrade.
Yeah, it's going to fit right in. They're just going to be absolutely smashing it from here on in.
Pretty cool. So this is the restaurant. It's stunning.
It's amazing. It's almost like he's just put it in the downstairs of his house.
Yeah, well, it looks like a really unique double-story white timber building. It looks a bit sort of unique for Japan.
Definitely does.
So I did them a favour with the help of AI, and this smoker is going to take some time to get on a container ship and make all its way to Japan. So I AI'd it in there for him.
He didn't even need to buy one, mate. He could have just done that.
Pretty cool, hey?
Super cool.
That gold smoker is going to look pimp there.
Yeah, so good. Now it's just their job to keep it clean.
All right, we're getting towards the end of the episode. On the menu, before we get started, speaking of smash burgers, we've got a request from James Stickies Taylor, and he sent us in this photo and says, "Hey fellas, absolutely killing it with the show. I thought I'd throw this out there for a quick and easy on-the-menu request." So this is a request for you to cook. He presents the croissant smash patty, double bacon, cheeseburger on a croissant.
Sounds bloody amazing. And I know that when I did my hot cross bun smash burger over Easter, Jamie actually reached out and said, "Mate, I've got a surprise for you," and here it is.
Well, I reckon this would slap.
I reckon it would too, mate. You got that sweet savoury combo going on that we're all about. We'll get this on the menu down the track.
Well, I reckon we do some smashies. We've got the flat plate here.
Got the griddle, got the burger press. Yeah, I've got a freezer full of mince, mate, so...
Game on.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not what's on the menu today.
No, on the menu today is from the, I guess this is an integral part of the upbringing of one of the biggest names in barbecue, Tuffy Stone. This is his grandmother's recipe, and it's the pineapple hot dish.
And it looks pretty simple.
Mate, it's so simple. There's, pretty well just 5 ingredients there. And Tuffy, quote me if I'm wrong, but on the website states that as a child he used to love this because his grandma used to serve it with Christmas baked ham, that sort of thing. And it's It's quite sweet, and they felt like they were having dessert for lunch.
Okay. What's the ingredients?
So it's basically just butter, pineapple, eggs, sugar, and breadcrumbs, and then a bit of cayenne pepper and a pinch of salt just to bind it all together.
Okay.
Very, very simple.
So let's go through the process here. Tell me the method.
So the method is literally put all those ingredients into a bowl and give it a really good thorough mix. And while that was happening, I had the Traeger warming up to 350 Fahrenheit, poured it out into the old the steel pan there, cooked it in the Traeger for about half an hour. I just couldn't believe that those 5 ingredients just had such a flavour bomb.
Okay, well, you've brought some into the studio. You cooked this at home.
Yep.
But you brought some in, so let's give it a taste.
As Tuffy stated, they used to eat this with, baked smoked hams, that sort of thing, and it just goes down that ham and pineapple route that we're all fans of. I thought about it, maybe we could serve it with some ham, this sort of thing, but then I was like, no, let's just have it like this. And I reckon you could use this as a bit of a foundation to build off something a bit more unique. Like, there'd be certain types of pork rubs out there that I reckon if you put some of that in there just to give it another dimension of flavour, it'd be awesome.
All right, but you've stayed true to the original
I've
recipe.
stayed as true to the traditional recipe as I could with the available ingredients.
All right, do we have ice cream with it?
No, I think it's just basically just smash it like that. You tell me how you'd have it.
Rightio. So let's tuck into it. Let's do our traditional cheers.
Don't cheers food, man.
Someone got really cranky at us for cheesing food.
So jealous, bro.
The base is charry and crispy.
It's just crazy how that little bit of sugar and that butter together just combine and just give it that beautiful dessert-esque texture.
It's really phenomenal how so few ingredients taste so good. All right, that's amazing. Let's move on to the Encore. Now, you alluded to this at the very beginning of the show. The fastest Weber ever.
The fastest Weber in Australia, at least.
And tell me what's happening.
This is Australia's fastest Weber, mate. This is I believe it's a V8 Commodore wagon that regularly partakes in the Ipswich drags, and it's got a little baby Weber Q attached to the back. Most guys have a parachute there, but he's too fast for that.
So do you think the hood of the barbecue flips up when he's got to slow down? And
I reckon it does, and if it's cooking anything in there, it's getting that nice little kiss of tyre smoke.
brings new meaning to the word hot and fast.
It sure does.
It'd be even better if he actually was cooking something in there at the same time too.
He's just cooking the tyres, mate.
Well, it's pretty cool.
But yeah, that was sent to us by our good mate of the show, Dave Reed, up there at Drag Photos up in Queensland, and he's also the guy that printed those stickers for us. So cheers, Dave.
Okay. All right. Done.
Happy days. Episode Dirty 30 in the bag.
Yeah, so this is your opportunity, if you got this far, to give us a like, leave a comment. Leaving comments is super important, right? Obviously, we break this episode up and we put it into shorter clips for Instagram, which are going really well, by the way. But if you do enjoy the longer format episode, then likes, comments, shares are super important for us.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, especially on YouTube. YouTube's the best way to watch it because, you know, we do all this in 4K and, yeah, we look all right up on the big screen sometimes, mate.
Cool. All right.
Right.
What do you say?
See you next Tuesday.